Hello. I wanted to get a premise across, and this seemed like a solution for the moment, as I am not beside a creek. But it really doesn't matter because it's just a visualization, so that you can, do it in your own way within. I was in meditation, and I needed to do the surrender for my own trust in my own flow. I was inside, not outside, but I'm craving to be by the water, the fishy that I am. It's been raining. It's raining right now, actually. It's sprinkling, which is helping. So for myself, innocently, I went to a favorite place here in town. It's about 30 minutes away. And I stepped off of the pebbles that collect the river stones, the river rocks. And it's very shallow for a ways, but then it widens, deepens, and the current picks up. I'm aware of the flow of this river. It goes all through and around and north, and it's one of the largest rivers in Alaska. However, despite that being my favorite spot, it does not lead to the ocean per se in this area. So, again, the visual begins with maybe something local in your own area, but I've never followed the river to the ocean is a better way to express that. So I didn't know what I would experience, is the point, on all levels. Because you begin, visually, and we quote-unquote make these things up, but I have to admit, the path that it was, if I looked on a map, it was very similar. And I am curious on the timings of where it opens, and the rapids were bigger, etc. Okay, so I went in innocence to do this. That was the first time I'd ever done such a thing in 11 years of meditation now. So that'll just tell you something for those that are, have been for a bit. We keep discovering new little fun ways, okay? Okay, so I'm standing when I first, went into meditation and relaxed my whole body, and I allowed the visual of standing on the banks. And then, for whatever reason, I personally picked up my quartz sphere. It was something I felt I needed. And it's funny, it felt like a pearl more than what it is. It was like I was holding the clear version of the pearl of all the pain of life. Conceptually, metaphorically, whatever. Okay, so in those moments, there's a lot of pain because, my children are older, I'm older, that song. And, the only reason I even went into meditation, all of it was kind of hitting me. And I was allowing those feelings, okay? Each one of us has a different thing that we're going through. And any of them are helpful. Any meditation is helpful for any of those feelings, so that we can kind of look at and experience them in our subconscious, okay? And look at them and love them. And then go, oh, that's why. Okay, so all of a sudden, with this thought of just falling backwards into the water, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to fall backwards into the water and just trust and allow, head first, downstream, and just let go, right? I've let go here and there on a physical level. I've let go here and there on a limitations level. I've done this sort of within meditation, but not to this degree. Okay, so I'm standing there. I'm just holding this thing. I step gently out into the shallow of the stream. And for a moment, that moment of trust, you know that game where you fall backwards and trust that someone's going to catch you? Yeah, that one. I was trusting the water was going to catch me. Which is funny, why do we even need to trust it? It's all in our mind, right? But it's subconscious of life in general and what I needed to do for myself, okay? So at realizing, oh, there's a little twinge of that. Why is that there? Oh, yeah, okay, well, let's just trust. And I just fell backwards gently and, you know, a soft stream of movement, I began to move, right? And just aligning myself, I straightened my body and became, you know, a sailboard, if you will. Holding that sphere right at my belly. It was like I knew it intuitively to tune into it so that it would clear out those last little doubts and stuff that were still looming. Okay, so I just began the floating, right? And I straightened my core, and I was just trusting the water. I couldn't see. My head, you know, pointing downstream. I had to trust. A few times as the water, I'm telling you, the water began to pick up naturally. I didn't plan it. I didn't insist on it. I didn't focus to it. It's just all rivers do. All streams, all rivers, they widen and they get rockier, right? Just like life. And it was a good test. I started to tense up. And I sensed that, so then I relaxed again. And then continued, right? And then the river widens, right? And then those bumps get a little bigger, right? So I had to adjust again. Oh wait, this is getting bigger. My board got a little bigger. And I kept trusting my core and holding that sphere right at my balanced gut area, okay? And then it widens more, and then the one's going this way and one's going that way. Very much like our brain, yes? And I remember clearly, a moment of, this stuff's picking up. One, it's just a visual. It's not really happening, as real as it might feel for those that have very vivid meditations. It was only my natural reaction to when things kind of get a little more bumpy, right? So I adjusted again. I remember rolling my shoulders back. How many times I've said that to women, including myself, because, you know, we all need to hear it from time to time. Those of us that have been, you know, through what we've been through. You know, roll those shoulders back, girl. Straighten that back. Now, how many times I've innocently stated those things? That I have to do it on my own just as well. Well, during this moment, I had to do that. The shape of the quote-unquote board changed a bit. Sure, it's just my body, but again, I'm giving a concept of a visual. And then all rivers come out to the ocean, right? At this point, it was going so fast, it almost took my breath away. And why is that? Well, the unknown. Then it opens to the ocean. And I don't know how many of you have had the pleasure to watch the ocean for hours on end. But one thing that I've noticed is a big cap that kind of keeps, you have to get up and over it in order to get out to deep sea. Now a big boat, it's not a problem. A little board I'm on, I could see these huge waves coming at me that I knew I needed to put up a sail real quick, catch the wind just right. It was right out of my heart center. I'm still the boat, or more, I became the boat, right? And then, once you're out in the ocean, you can go and go and go, and eventually you're going to hit the middle of nowhere. Oh man, how peaceful it is out there. If I can't get to the water, I can just go to the ocean anytime I want, conceptually, within. Sure felt real, sure smelt real. That's how powerful our brains are. But then there's a little bit of a fear, like I'm out here all alone, right? oh wait, I own this place, this inner space. Just turn the boat around, put the sail up, and return right back up the river, right back up the stream, right back onto land. The trip back is always much faster, despite the fact that the first trip going down, downstream's always faster. But wait, now that I know the route, the way back is super easy. And we control that. In your subconscious, if you are in the middle of the ocean, and you don't want to be there anymore, or maybe you're here and it's all rocky in the ocean, maybe you're at this big old wave and you're afraid to ride it back this way because, whew, that's a big wave. And then it's not even taking you to land yet. You've still got to go back up all this choppy water stuff. We have to revisit our stuff again and again for some. Right? And that straight rod, you control your inner ocean. Would it be so simple on a physical level? Obviously not. I mean, you got a jet ski, whoop, and that's a great point. If you want to take a jet ski on this journey within, do so. If you want to ride it, at one point when I was in the ocean area, I did get up on my board, and the quartz sphere just kind of hung out in the middle, because obviously it's all in my head, so I'm not really even having to hold it. It just kind of sat there like a fanny pack. So do it your own way. I was riding those waves for a bit until I got out to the middle and I just laid in my boat and just enjoyed it. That's an inner space for those that like water. Not everybody likes water. In fact, water scares some people and they don't want to go out there, which is exactly another problem on a subconscious level. If you're afraid of water, you're afraid of emotion possibly, and water is emotion. Any of us that are that sign, we are emotion. We feel and sense emotion. So if you're denying yourself to feel emotion, that's going to cause more problems than facing it. And even as well-versed as I am, I still had a moment where I had to talk myself into letting go. Because that journey, head first and face up, and you don't know where you're going, right? And it gets troubled, and you're like, you have to trust yourself. I have to trust myself. And I straightened and rolled those shoulders back, and I knew, one, obviously it's a visual, but two, it's representational of life in general. And how many of us have been taught to doubt ourselves, statements of doubt from other people that doubt themselves, and then we hold that shit? What for? What for? We don't have to. And yeah, that big bump, that wave, it kind of separates and keeps us, quote unquote, at land, unless we get up and over it. A lot of times, myself included right now, to get up and over that wave for our passions, to express these things in a way so that maybe more can go on their inner journey with ease, is the only goal this entire lifetime. I'm trusting these rocks speak well enough. I'm trusting these words are being heard. It's our journey. Own it and then rip it. Much love, precious treasures. I see art. I want you to see it too.